Alright, so we're rolling through Quakecon right now, and we saw a game that I was really looking forward to. We saw full gameplay of it. It looks absolutely amazing. That's Doom Eternal. Now, we've been talking about this since E3, when they did unveil it there. Pete Hines was even kind of hinting at it beforehand. We had a feeling the next Doom was going to be shown at E3. It was. Fast forward to Quakecon, which is going on right now in Texas, and they show us full gameplay. They showed us a lot of gameplay, and the game looks fantastic. Now, if you have not seen it, I would go check out the full gameplay trailer for it. I'm going to show you some of it here, but it is a pretty lengthy video. They showed several different scenarios, several different enemy types that are new, that are from Doom 2 that they've recreated, several different weapons, and it just looks awesome. They showed some pretty cool stuff, and they also dropped an announcement that it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. We're going to talk about that as well, because they didn't really put it out there like it was this big deal. Do you remember when Doom was first announced on the Switch last year, and it was done in Nintendo Direct, and it was pushed out there as like a really big deal? It almost feels like Doom Eternal was kind of pushed out there as a, well, obviously, statement. And that's actually that's a good thing. And we're going to talk about why that's a good thing. But first, let's talk about Doom Eternal, because this is looking great. They showed some gameplay from it, and it, like, graphically, I know they're showing on PCs and everything, looks awesome. We think an NVIDIA card is coming of some kind later on this month. They're going to probably announce a new line, or at least one card. So if you end up getting a new video card, I think this is going to be the game to play with it because of its high frame rate and just clean looking visuals. But they showed, of course, the Slayer running through, a Doom guy running through, just wrecking everything. They have different damage levels for the enemies, which was cool. So as you do damage to them, they will lose chunks of their body and stuff, and just kind of turn into deformed versions of themselves. So it's really cool to see all of the different character models that they have set up for different stages of how much damage they've taken. They showed that grappling hook. Man, they had a shotgun and they were zipping around with the grappling hook all over the place. It was already really fast in Doom, but now you have a grappling hook and you're more agile than ever, shooting around with the shotgun, just like latching on with the grappling hook, jumping like far across the level and everything. It looked so fun, super frantic, fast-paced, exactly what I'm expecting from Doom. I don't want to be reloading and taking cover like Call of Duty stuff. No, I just want to run through, rip and tear, and just destroy demons left and right. Seriously, after coming from Call of Duty, which was, I haven't played this yet, but it looks like the type of first-person shooter I want. More Doom, which is what I want. It looks great. Now, they also showed a blade that he has on his arm now. So when you get to the point with the enemy where you do enough damage to the demons, and then of course you can do the glory kills. He was kind of just slicing them up with that sword, and it looked super brutal. They had different animations for him cutting off different parts of the enemy, or just different animations in general for what he was cutting off with the blade as different finishing moves. Super cool. And one of the most interesting things that they announced here was this mode where apparently Doom will have multiplayer outside of the standard, everyone jumps in a room and just lights everyone up. It's more Dark Souls sounding, where you can actually invade another player's campaign as a demon. So you, and they said possibly teams of people jumping into another person's campaign, you would be a demon going after Doom Guy, the person who's playing as a Slayer. You'd be going after him, looking for him to attack him. I don't know how that's going to work out. Will you as the demon be as powerful as them? Because that would be kind of difficult if that was the case, since people could just gang up on him. I feel like he would still have to have more health, do more damage or something, because then it could get kind of out of control and annoying, and you might just turn it off at all times, because they did add that there is an option to turn this off. I love this idea, though. This is so cool. That was probably, honestly, over everything, the most interesting thing that they announced here was that it will have this component of this player versus enemy, but the enemy is technically a player, kind of like a Dark Souls invasion type thing. And I just want to see more about that, because they didn't show it really at all. They just talked about it, and it just sounds like a really neat idea just you could just jump into someone's game and just take them out. But I want to see how they're going to balance it. That is the big question here, is if you and like 5 people jump into someone's game, if you guys will just overrun them and they'll just get annoyed. I think, like I said, I think the main character, Doom guy, has to be strong enough or just have extra abilities that the demons just can't technically cope with, because as players, they're going to be a bit smarter than AI. Now, we don't have a release date. That's the other thing that's kind of up in the air right now. They announced all the systems it's going to, with really the Switch was the only one that I think was up in the air. I think we already knew it was going to PC, PS4, and Xbox One, since those are like the default systems at this point. But they didn't give us a release date. I don't think it's coming out this year because it's getting kind of late in the year. It's August now. I don't think it's going to come out in 2 months, and they still haven't told us the date. I think it's a next year, and I think by next year, I think spring, like a March or an April, I think makes sense, right? Spring 2019 seems like a good spot to drop it, since they have Fallout 76 coming out this year. They could push Doom Eternal to next year and just drop it. I assume all versions, including the Switch, are dropping day one, same time. So I don't think people who want the Switch version are have to wait. Obviously, like Doom 2016, that was pretty late, right? But I mean, the Switch came out after Doom anyway. So, but this is going to be good, and so far so good. I hope it's not a holiday 2019 game, because I want to play it like now. I want to play it as soon as possible. All right, so let's talk about the Switch version. This was interesting to a lot of people. We believe Panic Button is porting it only because they had some interaction with the tweet that was put out. They also kind of retweeted it themselves and made a comment on it as well. So we believe Panic Button is with Bethesda in this, and they're going to be porting it. They have experience with obviously Doom 2016. They have experience porting that. And we had the gyro controls in there. We had gyro controls day one with Wolfenstein, so I could see gyro controls being a part of this version of the game. And we kind of already know how it's going to run, which is also good because people can make the decision, do I want the graphically intensive 144 frames or whatever on the PC? Do I want kind of the easier to play middling experience with the Xbox One X, the PS4 Pro, or just the base units? Or do I want the portable, sure the lowest end version, but the portable version of the game? I think you might also see some people kind of double dip, even day one, to be honest on this, because of course you can play portably on your Switch and then, you know, play on your Xbox, your PC. The only issue that's a little, I guess a little tough is that so far, we don't have anything about cross progression at all. That would be really cool, by the way, if they could implement that with the Xbox, the PC, and the Switch. I know the PS4 isn't a part of that, but Xbox, Switch, and PC, if somehow your saves could kind of move between them, or your online stats could move between them, and everyone on that side seems pretty into crossplay. Bethesda has talked about crossplay. That would be kind of neat, just to have your saves at least transfer around. I know the Switch and the Xbox and the PC would be a weird crossplay thing, because the Switch, yeah, it would be at a disadvantage at 30 frames. The Xbox would be at a disadvantage to the PC with the mouse and keyboard. Actually, the Switch would probably be a better match for the mouse and keyboard with the gyro controls if the frame rate was high enough. So I don't know if they could do that competitively, but I mean, Fortnite, you can do that. So I mean, why not? As long as you can turn it off. Just, I guess the option's good. I'm more about the save progression going between the two. Imagine playing at your PC at ultra high settings and everything, and then, oh, you gotta run. Okay, well, let me just hit this button, and I'm gonna jump on my Switch now and take it with me. I know the Switch, the whole point of that is to be able to do that, but just to be able to have options to go from ultra high fidelity to then portable would be kind of cool. And the one big thing to take away from this is when Bethesda announced this, it wasn't a big deal to them that it was coming to the Switch. It almost felt obvious, like, yeah, of course it's going to the Switch, why wouldn't it? That's kind of what it felt like. Like, I know they're using the same engine from Doom 2016, their id Tech engine, and that has already been ported to the Switch, but we have seen games that just didn't come out for no real reason. Steep with the latest example of them not being able to get that game seemingly running, so they halted development, but Doom Eternal looks pretty demanding, and that's coming to the Switch. Panic Button, of course, knows what they're doing. I'll give them that. Ubisoft probably should have gone and got Panic Button. But the fact that it's not a big deal to them is a big deal, I guess, technically for Switch owners or fans of the Switch, or if that's your one system that you have. That should be a sign, right? That should be like, okay, Bethesda now sees the Switch as popular enough to be worth them doing day one games, big budget games like this right away. And it shouldn't have been a surprise to us, apparently, that it's going to the Switch. They should have just, we should just expected it at this point. And if that's kind of the mood and the attitude they're going to have towards this, I will be curious now if, because the Switch has sold, as we assume, over 20 million systems, at least shipped them that many out, and this holiday it's going to get even more. I want to see if more of these bigger budget AAA games start going to the Switch day one as well. And if Doom Eternal is like, I guess, the first of many to start showing up day one. We're going to have to see. I have a feeling Japanese developers are going to get on board with that, but it's more Western developers. But be honest with me, who here, after the Wii U and everything else, who would have thought Bethesda is the Western developer to really get on board with the Switch so far as to put Doom Eternal as a day one big budget AAA game alongside the other versions of the game? I didn't see that coming. But yes, guys, exciting stuff. Doom Eternal coming out, we think, next year. Looks outstanding. It's more Doom with craziness and destruction and ripping and tearing and carnage. It looks great. I'm picking that thing up. I think I'm going to get it on the PC and the Switch, although Bethesda sent the Doom 2016 over on the Switch when it came out, so we reviewed it or checked it out there in the video to see how it ran. I'll probably buy it on the PC and then see if Bethesda will provide a review code on the Switch, or otherwise I'll just get it on both so we can do some comparisons, check it out, see if they made any improvements with the way the game looks, the gyro controls. But we will be covering it either way, PC and Switch. We did that with ease, so yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it with this too. But we'll be checking it out. We just don't need a release date, so we'll keep an eye out for that. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated on any kind of release dates that they put out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not. Let me know your thoughts about Doom Eternal down below. What system are you getting it on? Are you excited for it after seeing the gameplay, or are you kind of let down for whatever reason? I don't know, with the gameplay. I think it's more Doom, same engine, but more Doom, and that's great, and I'm really excited for it. Let me know, guys, down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.